All right, look, on my channel, we get straight to the content. Now, listen, man, if you're familiar with my content, I'm not a Marc Lamont Hill fan. I'm not a Manny fan from the Joe Budden podcast, right? I can't believe on the podcast, they just had a conversation about what's straight and what's not straight. If you're familiar with my other content, I feel I don't care what no one says. Marc Lamont Hill has been a detriment to the podcast. And if you weren't ever going to believe me, now you should start believing me. Because now Joe Buttons is even arguing about what's straight, what's gay, what's bi, right? Imani is right. And I can't believe I'm saying this. Imani was right the whole time. The fact that Joe has been around, I don't know if y'all familiar with people like Marc Lamont Hill in life, right? He's the ultimate fence sitter. So he actively will say, I'm not disagreeing with you while disagreeing with someone. Please stop with this college articulate BS. You're actually disagreeing. Whenever it has, like the Joe Buttons podcast have become so toxic, whenever it's a conversation about a man talking about man stuff, in this case, just being a man, y'all don't notice how Joe gets so serious? He'll joke about everybody else. You know how they say stand for nothing, stand for something, or fall for anything? He's so up and believing in the ideologies of Marc Lamont Hill that now Joe he wants to include everybody. Listen, love who you want to love, date who you want to date. This is like regular terminology. If you are a gay man, that's fine. Do whatever you want. There is a straight man is a straight man. A gay man is a gay man. A bisexual man is a gay man. This is like, even Parks. Parks is another, you got to remember, Parks is in love with a different culture. He doesn't really love our culture like that. He has seen success in our culture. Because any given time, he about to beat us over the head with some reggaeton or Bad Bunny. Gotta always remember that, right? Marc Lamont Hill currently has a son. Marc Lamont Hill says he's a black man. He got a son that don't even speak English at all. Got to remember the mentality, right? So Joe is running around because Marc Lamont Hill knows a lot of stuff, but he knows a lot about a little bit. He knows a little bit about a lot. But when it comes to main topics, he doesn't know anything at all because he's so biased. Parks asked a question. Well, I had a cousin. She dated girls and she don't date girls no more. Let me explain this to y'all, right? If you're in 7th grade and you got a friend in 7th grade and they eat another 7th grade boy's hammer, right? He ain't straight. Even if he becomes 41 years old, I'm going to view that person, and most people are going to view that person as bi because of that event that happened. You see they do it with Hassan Campbell the whole time. And there's nothing wrong with being how you want to be. But if that happens to you, you're bi. And bi is not straight. Bi is gay. And it's okay to be that. So why are we letting E.J. Johnson control the narrative of the word straight when we have straight men to tell us what the definition is? You got cisgender, you got bi, you got this, you got that. You got everyone telling us how to identify them. But then when we're talking about straight men, and straight men like Imani or like Ish or like Ice want to talk about it, we got Joe Budden, Parks, and Marc Lamont Hill, who say they're straight men, and I believe them, saying, oh no, well, it's a new definition. How can y'all change the definition? Who are y'all to change the definition? How can E.J. Johnson change the definition? He's not even a straight man. This is diabolical activity. I've been warning y'all. Joe Budden has lost his mind. If you didn't believe it, this is the most important topic the whole time to show you the mentality of the podcast. Even Joe Budden brings in the dude Be Something, right? He sucks on the podcast. Why doesn't Joe? So he taking Ish off the podcast. He puts this dude on the podcast. This dude sucks on the podcast. He's there to talk about music. I still talk about music better than him. So this is a wash. This is some Marc Lamont Hill, Ian Schwartzman stuff. We can't define what a straight man is. Joe will troll every topic, even on this. Imani kept saying, "Oh, I'm a straight man. I'm a straight man." And Joe like, "Yo, why you keep saying it?" "Well, because y'all cutting him off." Then he says it again. "Yo, why your voice cracking? Do you think Imani is gay? If you think he gay, say that. Other than that, let him say what he want to say." Marc Lamont Hill has made it, remember, cult Lamont Hill, a dude that was in the cult. We got to listen to this dude. A black man with a son that does not speak English, that only speaks Spanish, by the way. By the way. Why are we listening to anything Marc Lamont Hill has to say about black men in America, black Americans? Anytime, you got to look at everything. When it's time to talk about black men in America, Marc Lamont Hill only judges us and kicks our backs in. Joe is starting to follow suit. Marc Lamont Hill talk about all this Middle Eastern stuff and Palestine this and Palestine that. How do you think they define a straight man in Palestine? Do you think Marc Lamont Hill is holding that culture under a microscope? No. You don't, go look at the history of Palestine and then go listen to Marc Lamont Hill. Not saying that people in Palestine, free Palestine, of course, because what's happening to them is not right. But everyone's back doesn't get kicked in. As soon as they bring up black men, backs kicked in. Joe is crazy, yo. This is the product of a great entertainer and a terrible leader, bro. I know the pod has been dead for a while. Joe even made a comment like, "Oh, we need the Patreon subscriptions up." How? You can't even be a straight man. Can't even be a straight man and say what a straight man is. The topic only being brought up, by the way, by a guy that's not straight. How is this happening? Why is this happening? This is how people create certain narratives about people being homophobic, and they're not. You got people literally categorizing a group of men and changing the definition of it. While also us straight men got to accept the other definitions of other people. And I don't mind. But you can't be gay and redefine what a straight man is. Is this real life? Joe Budden has officially lost his mind, bro. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. It could be a product of Ozempic. Y'all, listen, y'all know he took the little Ozempic shot to lose weight. He ain't lose it like a straight man. He ain't lose it on no savage stuff. Shout out to people that use Ozempic and then they really change their lifestyle, right? But this is crazy activity. On my last video, I said, we got to be real cautious as black men, what black men we listen to, because some of these black men, they not going to be with us when our back is against the wall or if we thrown into World War III. Marc Lamont Hill ain't about to fight no battles for us. Every time you turn around, he kicking our back in. This is crazy activity. I don't know what's going on, y'all. But after this topic, I don't think that the podcast is going to get better. I think we are past the heyday of the Joe Budden podcast. And y'all might need to join me and just listen to people that react to it. Because I listened to this on the reaction channel. I didn't listen on the actual Joe Budden pod. Because I can't support it because that pod don't actually support people like me. If you're watching this video, they probably don't support people like you. This was the craziest topic ever in the Joe Budden podcast history, where Imani is actually right. And Parks is such a coddler, yo. You gotta, when you make something for everyone, you sometimes make something for no one. Always remember that. Like, subscribe, turn your notifications on. I'm out.